Today, we're going to talk about opposites. He's obviously not saying anything. Opposites attract. Do opposites attract?
Yeah.
Or do you look for somebody like yourself?
Yes.
So,
Do opposites attract?
I guess, I mean, we're opposite.
But did we know that?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Did we?
Why are you copying me?
Did we know that when we first met that we were opposites? Was it obvious to you?
No, not obvious to me, no.
Okay.
And by the time I found out, it was too late. That's all.
Yeah, so opposites attract. I think I guess it wasn't in my mind when I met you. It wasn't like, oh, is he the same as me? Is he opposite? You were just you.
Yeah.
And I was attracted to you. Eventually.
Eventually, of course.
Yeah. By
Nothing to do with my eyes,
second meeting.
the hands.
Your eyes.
Fragrances.
And hands.
My
Yeah.
dress sense. My sense of
dress
humor.
sense. No.
My charming.
Do you remember what you were wearing?
I remember clearly what I was wearing, and yes, game was tight. So, definition of opposites. When you say opposites, what do you mean by that?
Well, opposite personalities, or you got like your. I guess we always say the proactive, reactive. Opposites in some people who are really lively and fun and up, buzzy and all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's others who are more calm and laid back and more solemn. You've got those who are, always thinking about the next thing, where there's those who are comfortable in the today thing. There's so many different...
So we're talking about personality, character. So if we're saying we're opposites, which we are, in many ways.
In many ways, not all.
No, not all, but in many ways we are.
Yeah.
Obviously, we didn't know that at the start. So what the misconception, I think, is it's only when you get to know the person fully and in depth, you actually realise how different you are. Like for us, I think when we got into marriage, and I think even let's talk about the last year and a half, we actually realised that we're very different.
No, but I think we realised I realised that we were different, but I think you don't realise the impact of that until you've been together for a long time and how that affects the things that you want to do. So, for example, like holidays.
Yep.
Yeah. None of us grew up going on holiday every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might go to local things or like, I don't know, Brighton or Margate or those kind of places. And then maybe you did the every 5 years or so trip home.
That's for you posh people. We didn't do that.
You went to Jamaica?
Once. I was a big man. I was like 20.
Okay. All right.
So you posh people went home every other year.
No, we didn't. I didn't.
That's cool. That's cool. Embrace it, man.
Probably every 5 years or something. Anyway, so then it got to a point where we're like, okay, well, we would like for our children to experience, a summer holiday and that kind of thing. But I think your approach was, let's go to Jamaica. Do you know what I mean? It was more, I think if you had your choice, you would go to either Jamaica or a certain place every year, and you'd probably be quite happy with that. Because even the places we've been to, let's go here again.
Let's go back. We haven't been back though.
Yeah, whereas I want to see different, I want to go to a different place every time.
So maybe, but then maybe because I'm living in that place where I want to be able to go to where I go regular and also add other venues, other locations.
I put it down to more you being a creature of comfort. You like what you like and you'll happily stay there. Happily comfortable in that comfortable place.
And you're not,
Yeah, and I'm like, that's nice, it's great, but there could be something better.
Yeah.
It could be, so I think in that sense, we're quite different.
Yeah, and I think when people get together, when you're married, couples, however long you've been together or not, when you're single and you're trying to identify somebody who may be a potential spouse or whatever it is, sometimes the difference is you eliminate not choices, you eliminate people and individuals that could add to your life because of the differences.
Yeah.
And I think especially in the early stages, when you're getting to know each other, we spoke about conflict previously in another video. We spoke about the difficulties and how you recover from conflict. But sometimes people get to the point where we're just too different.
Yeah.
He just wasn't for me or she wasn't for me because she's just this way inclined. And I think it's only when you get to know somebody deeply that you work out actually what's the key components that's important for you as far as fundamentals. Because opposites attract, but if the fundamentals ain't right, it's not happening in the first place.
I mean, true. true, but the thing is that decision can be made too early.
Yeah.
So if I had judged based on what I saw of you, or the conversations, like you said, I'm not moving out of East London.
Yeah.
And here we are. You know, we're not in East London. I think you had every right to make that statement because East London is what you knew.
That's home. Yeah.
And I was born in East London as well, but I'd already begun to move out. But you were somewhat. Can I ask you why you're laughing?
When you say move out, yeah, what's your question?
Out of East London.
Where did you live?
I'm not exposing my whole business.
Okay. Where did you live?
It wasn't in East London.
Okay.
Just ever so slightly out.
Ever so slightly out. Okay, that's cool. I'll give you that.
Yeah, right. But so what was I saying now?
I can't remember.
Me. Okay, so basically, if I had listened to what you had to say at that point, based on the fact that just because you'd never done it doesn't mean you never would. I guess we wouldn't have been together. If you were saying, well, no, I only want to go to Jamaica, you know, and yet we've been to so many places now. And I think it's just that willingness, and the same for me.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. And then you show me a different way. Yeah. Even like whatever foods.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because even though we're both from West Indian parentage, we grew up on different, like even the same foods cooked differently.
Yeah. Like my way is right, and the way your people cook is wrong. Yeah, that's right. The wrong names, everything. Yeah. Okay.
I'm calling my mum after this.
So that's cool. Me, mum's cool. Okay. So, and I think what it does is understanding what your fundamentals are, what's non-negotiable, which we spoke about before. Actually, the fundamentals of who we are, as far as faith, as far as, I suppose, vision to a certain degree about what the outcome or where you want to achieve, where you want to get to in life. Obviously, the methods it takes to get there are different and may change over the years. But for me, I think so much of us, our differences that we had initially have changed. Yeah. And in the midst of being married for 14 years, nearly 15 years, the things that are still our differences are still changing now.
Yes.
You see what I mean? And I think what happens is, especially in early stages of marriage, a lot of couples that don't make it in marriage or relationship is because they get so stuck on what they don't agree with and what the differences are, that they lose sight of actually we are good in this area of our relationship.
But I think it's partly because of expectations. So me expecting you to do a certain thing or behave in a certain way, and then you don't because you're not me and I'm not you, and all that kind of thing, means it creates conflict, or it creates, if it's in the earlier stages, it's like, well, I'm off. I can't, I just can't be dealing with your approach to things.
At any stage.
No, but once you're married, you can't say I'm off. Well, ideally.
Ideally not. But then that means that if you're not in a position where you can focus on what you do agree on or what the similarities are, you lose sight of the relationship and the individual that you fell in love with, I'm hoping, the person who you decided to commit the rest of your life to. Because when the romance is gone, or the romance is, you're not in that romantic season, you're in a season where it's tough or things are difficult, the bits that make you different get so magnified in the relationship.
What about before you said the person you fall in love with? Yeah. What about before that stage, like the early stage? It might even be a first or second date. Yeah, but then and you meet someone and you might quiz them, for example. You might say, "So where have you travelled to? Where have you been?" And they say, "Well, I haven't." Like, well, sorry, no, I need to do something. No, that's not
even that. I think the things that, like we say, we did. I'm sure we did it as well. The things that might be an issue or jar you going forward, you overlook. You don't really, because you're not at that stage where you can, or some people aren't, where you can test or question certain things. It's like, who are you? I don't know you like that. How you?
So, but where's the fine line then of saying, writing someone off at that very early stages because they don't fit in with your criteria, your preferences, and all of your 5-year plan? Or do you, and this again, it can go wrong the other way, i.e. you overlook all the things that initially make you think, I'm not sure, it's not really kind of the person that I would be with or whatever, and you get further into the relationship, feelings are now happening, and you're overlooking the very things that frustrate you. But you see, the problem there is, there will always be things that frustrate you, as we know, but do you then make a decision that you need to maybe switch it up a little bit, or change a little bit, or allow for the person, or give them time to develop, or whatever it may be, as you go further into the relationship? Or do you see it at the very beginning and think, no, out, get out because this person is just too
there were some
different.
There are some extremes, obviously. There's certain things, like, again, I think it's about being in the position where you can look externally and look at things in context. So you can do your research, and again, you can, like I always say, you can observe somebody from a distance and get a picture of who they are. You can observe someone's friendships, and depending on what circles that you're in. And again, I suppose on social media now, in general, you can get a picture of what someone's values are, or what they think that they like, or what they post, what they talk about. And you can think, actually, you know what? But then that in a relationship would really irritate me. But boy, she's fine, so that's cool.
I think on the negative side, that could be something. But on the positive side, that's like catfish, isn't it? But it's you're putting things on there that, if you play the game well, you can post things and imagery and quotes and all this kind of thing. I mean, how many people put biblical quotes on their social media every morning, and then you see them like at 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's just, they're not living up to that at all.
But I think it's just that it's all smoke and mirrors, isn't it? And I think that's where, like, again, I'd use social media now, finally, in that sense. But it's obviously people are going to portray what they want you to see, and that's the thing. Even some of the things that are negative, I mean, you might look at it and think, how would you post that? People are putting out there what they want to see. So I mean, so it's just about
but for them it may not seem negative. Do you know what I mean? And
that's where, for me, the art of building relationship comes, and the art of, and it's a skill. It has to be a skill set, because you can put yourself in some very sticky and vulnerable situations if you haven't got not the gift but the skill of actually building good, healthy relationships that have the potential to move forward, which again is a whole nother story of how do you do that, what context do you do that, is coffee dating and all that kind of stuff. Like, how do you identify the differences or the similarities if you don't invest?
So really then,
look, let's apply it to us. Let's look at our situation. When we got together and we were married within 11 months. Even though there was some glaring differences and friction that we had at that time in preparing for the wedding, in music, in communication, in what we say and how we said it, even just the words that we use and the way that we describe stuff, there were some glaring differences. But for us at the time, obviously God spoke early, which was probably needed, and romance. Romance was like, you know what, cool, this irritates me, but you know what, I'm getting married in 5 months, so it will work itself out. And you pray about it, or you kind of think, so.
But then what makes you make that decision when with other people, even though you're physically attracted to them, for example, I can't spend another day in your presence. So there's definitely more than just...
but then again, I can't take away the God element, the spiritual side of things for me. And obviously that was a massive factor in the confidence that I had anyway moving forward. And I'm sure the same thing for you, even more so because of where I was coming from. So we were opposites. Like, again, we were and are opposites. So the tick list that I had in my head, you didn't meet.
No.
The tick list, I don't know. No, I did actually. No, I smashed your tick list, didn't I?
Yeah, smashed it. Actually, you did.
So in that sense, but then again,
it pains me to say it, but
that was not on the surface, but again, I was giving you the best of me. I was showing you the best of me. So you.
Yeah, I haven't been in a limousine since our first Valentine's Day. I still haven't. Actually, there were a few videos.
Why are we going here now?
We have to go there. There were a few videos back where you said in the next video you're going to share about the date that you took me on.
Have I taken you on a date since?
What? Tell me.
I'm asking you a question.
No, I'm asking you the question.
See, that's why we're opposites, because
the
I know. The fact that you don't know, that means there's issues here.
What date was it?
Don't need to know what date it is. I know, you know.
It didn't happen.
I know, you know. Yeah? How am I taking you on a date?
I'm taking you out this weekend.
You're taking me out this weekend, yeah?
I am.
Yeah.
So, So the thing is, there are, elements of...
Because you give your best, so you don't know, you taper the little things that you know about yourself, the things that you might comment on, you won't comment until you're comfortable, until you know, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You test the waters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely, because you've done something 2-3 times, and I check it, and then the response is like, off key. I've got to make a decision, we've got to make a decision, right, do we go there and explore this to the fullest? or do I just let love conquer? There's a song, Love Conquers All. There's a song, yeah. And I think that's where, I think the deeper you get into a relationship, when you're committed to somebody, you identify things like, wow, you know, I didn't see that before. And you feel like someone's been hiding something, they've been covert and hiding who they really are. But actually, no, it's just because they're more comfortable. There's more trust. You did
see it and you
love turn your fool. That's my mum's favourite word. Yeah. Don't let love turn your fool.
So then, okay, so to wrap this up then.
Yep.
Is it wise to be in a relationship? Because I heard a great word, little plug here for Pastor Kunle Oyedeji from Cornerstone Church. We did a talk on Friday at one of our events, and his opening statement was, don't look for someone you're compatible with. And everybody was like, what? But when he broke it down and explained it, you know, it made perfect sense, because actually God has given you certain giftings and given me certain giftings, and certain qualities, and together we're good.
Yeah.
But in our flesh, we resist.
Yeah.
And this isn't what he was saying, but you know, what I took from it was that actually we often look for compatibility, and it's actually not the best thing to do. Because if you're looking for someone like you, or someone who has qualities that you have, you've already got them. You don't really need a double dose of that.
Yeah.
But it's going to be difficult because you're basically then looking for you.
Yeah.
And would you really want to marry you? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think
so. I mean, personally, I mean, you're a catch. I know.
Of course, we know this. There's no like we're in video. Like, what type of videos now? We know that's certified. That we know that standard. Like that's not even debatable. Don't need no public vote for that.
This is not you. This is like, why are you? Anyway, okay, cool. All right, fair enough. But you keep believing that.
Yes,
but but I think that's one of the things that over time, recognizing that if we would just surrender, to the giftings that each of us have, we live a far more harmonious life.
That comes at a cost, isn't it? It's vulnerability, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And for me, compatibility. When someone says compatible, if I look at technology, that means, for example, if we're not compatible in a certain area now, I can be upgraded, you can be upgraded, so I can change to become compatible.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that straight away, but you're going to change. Next week, you might have a situation or circumstance, you're changed. That means you're no longer compatible anymore.
Right.
Because this part of your character, how you view the world, has changed now.
Yeah.
So your point of reference is over here now, where before it was over here. So then now do you just put me aside and then find someone else who's compatible with this new way of thinking? And
also remembering that we're not just created for ourselves or each other. Yeah. Our higher calling is to serve the kingdom of God. Amen. And then we have certain giftings within us that are not necessarily for you or for me. It might be for somebody out there or some establishment out there or whatever it may, my calling. And so where my frustration might be that I'm looking for something from you based on the gifting that I have or feelings that I have or yearnings that I have, when actually it's not about you fulfilling that, it's about God fulfilling it or being fulfilled by the work that I do. So that's the danger as well, is looking for somebody to fulfill a need that you have when actually it's not a person that's going to do that.
And that need, that desire or that thing in you might not need to be triggered now.
Yeah.
It might be triggered 5 years into marriage when God does something in me to then initiate that time because the timing is right. And I think that's what it is. We can't look for the here and now. Sometimes in relationships and people looking for lifelong partners, they see the here and now. I'm talking about potential, but I'm talking about who are you now? Who am I now? What are the areas that we agree on and that we're similar in, which we're cool, which is for me, faith, belief system, vision. Everything else is changeable. Obviously, the physical side of things, but as characters, as views on life.
I mean, as you mature, you change, don't you?
You have kids and financial challenges and financial blessings and moving home and being away from family, moving at your parents' house, there's so many factors that change who you are, changing job, getting a promotion, losing your job, health. Come on.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that people don't take into consideration.
And we consider all of that, or maybe we don't, in the first date, the first meeting with someone, the first conversation, we're deciding whether that person works for us or doesn't work for us.
Even before that. Even before that. Because if you've got friends that speak about you've got a friend that I know, but I'm trying to check for you, and that friend has a view or says something about you, maybe positive or negative, and I'm thinking, yeah. Then they say something, and I'm like, nah, not for me. Madness.
Yeah.
Madness. Based on what?
Yeah.
So opposites do attract, they can attract, and I think we're a living example trying to work and thrash stuff out that it can work. So don't limit yourself, man.
Yeah.
Guys and girls, I don't know who's more picky. Who would you say, as we close, are more inclined to say we need to be compatible, male or female?
Female, I'd say, because I think male can be not all, because I don't like to put like all males are this way and all females are that way. I think men can be more driven by the physical appearance, the you know, how the woman appears academically or intellectually.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to, I'm not saying she has to have a list of degrees or PhDs or whatever, but she needs to be someone who can, you know, converse in a certain way or have been exposed to certain things.
And then women are what?
That.
And women, how different
women, I think we're more, we're more, we just have to click with you. There's got to be something about you. So even if the physical, you're not physically, you know, you don't have the actual physique or you don't look a certain way. But if I enter into conversation with you and you draw me in out of just the way that you are, it might be the kindness of your spirit. It might be, you know, the way that you speak. It may be, you know, the way that you care for others. It might be that you're funny. You know, you just, something about you just makes me laugh, whatever. I can almost put aside the other stuff. But then I guess that's me. I don't know if all women are like that. But I think it is different.
But I think guys are more deeper now. The guys that I speak to and guys that I spend time with that are single, I think they're more deeper now. But
I think it depends where the guy's at.
Yeah, age.
Because I think, not necessarily age, but stage. Because it happens for different people at different times.
That rhymes, you know. You've got lyrics.
I do have lyrics. But I think the age and the stage differs.
What you really...
I've got lyrics, I might as well repeat them. Yeah. So as I said, the age and the stage.
Should I beatbox to that?
No.
Okay.
See, you throw me you throw me now.
This is how I got you, like just because of my witty humour and that kind of stuff.
Your foolishness, you mean?
No.
Okay, all right.
As well as
can you let me make my point?
As well as my like chiseled body and like with my jawline.
How did I know about your chiseled body? Did I see any of that?
Through my shirt, innit?
And I met you in winter. You was wearing fit. Anyway, so depending on the age and the stage, say again, depends on how the man chooses. For example, at the earlier stages, he may not be thinking about settling down, wife, and all of that kind of stuff. It might just be about fun, good times, enjoyment, friendship, all that kind of stuff. I think then it gets to a point where it clicks and you think, actually, I'm now beginning to think about the future. And who would I actually bring home to meet my mom, you know, and to raise my children and all that kind of stuff. Whereas I think women can, even if they don't act upon it, can move into that place quicker or sooner. But I think the age of that and the stage of that is getting later and later in society. But I do think that does change. So although having said all of that, despite our age difference, it felt to me like you were ready for that at a more accelerated pace. So whilst I was already thinking about a husband and planning and preparing and praying and fasting and doing all of that, once we got together, I don't know if you were thinking about that beforehand. You did say in one of your other videos you always wanted to be married. Yeah. But once we did get together, I think you started to move at a faster pace. I was still trying to hold on to the whole independence of me being me. So when Rob started talking, when we started to talk about children, and Rob was like, let's start trying, I'm thinking, whoa, hold on. Give me another year to just be me, because everything's going to change once the children start coming. So yeah, I think it's just different ages and stages.
Okay, that's maybe that's what we'll put the title.
Good time to end.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, so
wonderful.
Until next time.